We were on a very important episode in the life of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam, salam upon him and upon our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In the last episode, when I completed this day before yesterday, I said that the ladies of Misr started gossiping that the wife of the minister of Misr has been infatuated by her own slave, and then she arranged for a meeting. She called them, she summoned them, and after that she gave them knives in their hands and said, as Yusuf passed by and came forth, they looked at Yusuf and they said, oh, this does not seem to be a human being, this must be a noble angel. And by looking at him, they cut their own hands and fingers. But then, the gossip does not stop, as you know. And Hazrat Yusuf immediately felt that up till now I had only one problem, that was Zulaykha. Now all these women will create numberless problems. Because in Tafasir we get that every woman present there started thinking of getting married to Yusuf. Here, Mulla Muhsin Fayyad Kashani rahmatullah alayhi in Tafsir al-Safi writes one thing beautiful. He says, and this has also been quoted by Sayyid Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai in Al-Mizan also. He said, he has complimented, saying that this is very nice. He says that when man decides in this life to work, this I say for all of us, for ladies and gents, especially for my upcoming young men and young women, when you decide upon doing something good for humanity or for religion, do not at all be concerned about what they say. Because remember the philosophy, and it is really one that gives us courage to go on working. Because if the times are good for you, people will praise you for things you do not do. وَكَمْ مِنْ ثَنَاءٍ جَمِيلٍ لَسْتُ أَهْلًا لَهُ نَشَرْتَ. That is in Dua Kumail. Oh Allah, how many beautiful praises of which I deserved nothing, yet you made it current and popularized it. I haven't done it. When the times are good, people talk about you and attribute things to you which you have not done. Some good things. Mullah Sahib did this, Mullah Sahib did that. He might not have done it, but times are good. So people concoct. But when the times are adverse and bad, then even certain good things you have done, people will say, no. Why he did not do it. I did it. Or so and so did it. And when the times are bad, you cannot stop. One second thing, you can never lock people's minds. Can you? He says that for Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness that he was clean. Number one. Zulaykha herself is a witness that he was clean. Two. The husband of Zulaykha was also convinced that Yusuf was innocent. Three. That young witness from the cradle gave a witness that Yusuf was innocent. Yet the ladies of Egypt said that there must be something. Ta nabashat cheezaki mardum naguyand cheezaha. Unless there must be something, otherwise people would not say many things. There must be something to prompt people to say many things. So he says, if Yusuf had to decide upon what they say, he would have been totally lost. He has got to see what is his own relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is innocent and clean, go ahead. If it had not been like that, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was labeled as a madman. Majnoon. Quran says, people say he's a madman. He was labeled as bewitched. That means somebody has done something like jadoo or anything. He's bewitched. He was labeled as useless poor man who was seeking popularity. He was labeled as anything that you might imagine, including a useless poet. If he were to listen to what people say, then the mission would not have gone forward. But the mission single-mindedly goes ahead. If you have to ignore, you must ignore. And remember, the genius lies in ignoring that which is immaterial and unimportant. If you can ignore that, you will work. If you cannot ignore, then life becomes miserable. And this is what he has written, and I think it is a beautiful hint for every one of us who wants to work. Let us take an example. The president of the Jamaat stands up and works for the Jamaat. People say, he is not right. The people in the madrasa who give us services, we say it's not right. Mukhi Saab does some work, we say it's not right. If one day Mukhi Saab is told that the food that we get is cold, it means that for 29 nights we have eaten good warm food, we forgot. For one night we received something cold, Mukhi must be told. Now if Mukhi Sahib were to listen to these things, tomorrow he will tender his resignation. But he has got to go ahead. If I give you 10 pieces of badam, almonds, out of which 9 are sweet and 1 is bitter, which will you remember? No, never. If you remember the sweet one, then you are an angel. Your tongue will give witness from morning till evening that there was 1 bitter almond in there. You have devoured all the 9. But the one is very important. But you have got to go ahead. It's one thing. Second thing is, that it is really very important that we in this world and in our lives decide and understand fully that Gunah, Kabira or Saghira is not a joke. Allahu Akbar. May Allah save us from those sins. Now when I talked about women must have felt very much offended about it. But as I have made it clear that it was not particularly for our ladies and for any other ladies, we talk about women in general. It was for this reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His ultimate wisdom kept what is called the hukum of parda, veil, which we consider to be orthodox. And till today, more than 50% still do not wear hijab. Many have said, I have said, many ulama kiram, may Allah keep them, have said, it just goes onto the deaf ears. But the fact is that there are 3 stages of parda which people should understand. It is not only the dress which is parda. It is not only the dress which is hijab. The dress is in the 3rd place. In the first instance, hijab is exchange of glances, nazar. Allah says, tell mu'mineen to cast down their glances. When I go out, ladies may pass with hijab, without hijab. Cast down your glances. Do not look at them, except those who are mahram. Your daughter, your sister, mother, your family. It's all right. And all those elderly ladies who have passed the age of parda, of course. Then they are just like our mothers. Otherwise, do not. And tell the mu'minat, that means the ladies, to cast down their glances, because there begins the fasad. And we think that no, it does not, but it begins. The fasad begins there. The second thing is the dress. That it must be worn in such a loose way that the body shape is not seen. The scarf is not the hijab alone. The scarf is a part of the hijab where the hair is concealed, but the body right from neck to the feet has got to be in a dress which is loose so that it does not show the body shape. Ayatollah Al-Khui says this much of face and two hands up to the wrists can be shown, but if even that gives out any cause for fasad, then even that must be concealed. Finally, the third thing is free mixing. Free mixing means a lady is in hijab, and people, men and women, will meet openly because they say, Mullah Sahab, hijab much, lady is in hijab. Well, to a certain extent it may be all right, but hijab or a dress that she has worn still keeps her a human person. She doesn't become an angel. And the glances are exchanged, and sometimes a fitna begins there. And when I say this, I say with all conviction, because I know what happens. I know what has happened. And I know so many things which cannot be revealed. But I know. We are trying to justify things. Well, I know what is happening in the name of hijab. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept this, why He kept this? Because your family, or your wife, for example, your sister, your daughter, is a mark of prestige and integrity and respect and izzat for you. No one has a right to nurse anything that is dirty against somebody else's wife or somebody else's daughter or somebody else's family. That integrity is infringed upon if we don't allow these things. And this is exactly what this ayah of Quran and what this particular story of Quran is trying to tell, that what can come out of it. Had it not been for Yusuf, anybody else would have been indulging in a sin. Yusuf alayhi salam showed us the way of how. What he did was, he ran. The running to the door is actually a symbol that when I am put into a particular situation, then for me it is to run away. To run away. Majlis al-Rahma writes in Jalal al-Uyun that when Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam was asked to prepare that ark, which is called Noah's Ark, and people are asked to embark upon it so that they can be saved from the deluge, water coming from all sides, only 11 people joined him. The rest said, we will seek refuge on the mountain. His own son did not join. His own son said, I'll go on the top of the mountain. And Quran says, Nuh told him, no one will be saved except those who are on this ark. Yet he did not listen. Everybody was drowned. Shaitan, he knew that this is the day, so he came to Hazrat Nuh and said, will you allow me a seat? Nuh said, well, you can, because Allah has already given you a lease of life, as Quran says. So you may have, but don't mix with the people. Huh? Go there and sit alone. When finally the deluge of water subsided and everything was normal, when he was about to disembark, he came to Hazrat Nuh and said, Ya Nuh, I must pay you back and thank you for allowing me to say. I mean, even shaitan knows gratitude. Even shaitan knows what is the meaning of being grateful. He said, I must say thank you. And you are a prophet. I don't have to teach you, but I know something. I must tell you what I know. He said, what? He said, there are occasions when you will think that you are doing good, but I am there. I am there. One, never think or never believe that if you eat to your fill, you will be able to do ibadah. No. When you sit on the sufra, I always say, one more. Oh, you have been fasting for the whole day. One more. And then when you are full, then you say, inshallah, I will read Quran. Or I will pray 100 rakat. Or I will rise for namaz shawi. It is impossible. Ya Nuh, it is impossible. For how I enter into you through your stomach. One. So never believe. Secondly, when two na-mahram sit together, and they say, "Ito munji behen hai." She is my sister. I have made her my sister. Never believe that. For they are not two. The third one, I am there always. Always I am there. Na-mahram, to sit with na-mahram. I am there. And therefore, the question arises, and it's a very, very important question, that look at the plight of our students in mixed schools today, in England, for example. When a young boy who has been not told anything by his parents or by madrasa teachers, a rising young boy who is now getting into manhood, goes to a school, next to him is sitting a girl who is coming from a different culture, from a different religion, and one morning or evening she very innocently tells, will you date me? It's happening. It's happening. And what is going to be the result of it is, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's concern, not my concern, because I have only got to pray. But I say that when the culture is rising as an onslaught and an attack against Islam and its teachings, we are coming to a stage where it's difficult to create any barrage against the rising tide. And this is the reason why I said some times back that we have got to intervene and say, and tell our people, our young people especially, that there are things which we will do and there are things which we will not do. Zulaykha finally says, قالت فذلكن الذي لمتنني فيه ولقد راودته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولئن لم يفعل ما آمره ليسجنن وليكون من الصاغرين. Even then, although Zulaykha accepted and admitted her own guilt, she was not repentant then. She said to the ladies, well, you have cut your hands, haven't you? So this is what you were taunting me for. Is it not justified that I was infatuated by Yusuf? All of you have cut your fingers. And now, I tell you that it was I who tried to solicit him and seduce him. He came out very clean. Fastasam. He came out very clean. He saved himself from it. But if he is not going to follow my desire, then he will be soon in the prison and he will be forgotten and humiliated. So, the trial of Yusuf is not over. From the well to Zulaykha, and from Zulaykha to the prison for the remaining 9 years tomorrow, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum.